So you just started out your no-code journey, but feeling overwhelmed with this large ecosystem. In this intro course, we are going to ease you into the no-code space with some of the history, basic terminologies and concepts, and also our recommended tools to start with. How's it going? It's Jasper from No More Codes here. In part 1 today, we're going to be talking about what no-code is, no-code versus no-code, and the evolution of no-code tools to discover why the definitions or the roles have been changing in the past few decades for no-code. No-code development is a movement of enabling everyone to build software applications with a visual user interface or graphical user interface, GUI, instead of typing out codes. A lot of people initially might think that no-code literally means that there was no code involved when building those software applications, and that's definitely not true. End product is still a software application written in code under the hood, except the software development process is now abstracted into a visual software editor. The user experience of visual software development can vary from tool to tool. The most popular approaches include the block approach, like Softer, where everything is stacked on top of each other, like Lego blocks. The drag and drop approach, like Webflow, Bubble, and Framer, where users have more freedom to place elements anywhere on a canvas. Different approaches have their own pros and cons, and they are often designed to cater different types of users and use cases. Regardless, they're all visual ways to abstract coding. Now, some of you might have heard of the term lowcode and wonder what the difference is between no-code and low-code. Well, low-code is also a visual way to create software applications, but the level of abstraction is lower in comparison to no-code. And it usually offers more freedom to create, and they are general purpose in terms of use cases instead of no-code being very domain specific. Low-code is more customizable, but comes at a cost of a steeper learning curve. The no-code movement started popping off on Google search trend in 2011. Since then, it has been growing at incredible speed. But what happened before it? How do we even get to this visual phase of software development? To understand these, let's start with the first era, 1960s to 1990s, the no-code before no-code in this pre-web 1.0 era. Before the term no-code came into existence, there were already significant advancements in graphical user interface GUI-based operating system that laid the foundation for simplifying computer usage in this era. A couple notable inventions in this pre-web 1.0 era are Xerox Alto and Stars that introduced the early concept of a desktop, copy and paste, and what you see is what you get editor, which is the pioneer to Microsoft Words and many no-code tools nowadays. We also had the release of the first versions of Macintosh and Microsoft Windows, which are running on most of the computers nowadays. These GUI-based operating systems introduced intuitive visual interfaces that abstract computer concepts into metaphors that we are familiar with, such as a trash can for deleting, getting rid of data, and folders for managing stored data on your computer. These abstractions and metaphors replace the need for complex command line operations so that everyone can enjoy the computing power of a device without the need to learn those complex technical concepts. The 1990s, the birth of the first web page maker during Web 1.0. The 90s were known as the Web 1.0 era. In this decade, although no-code is still not a thing yet, we have seen advancement in the web and cloud computing technology that laid the foundation of what our web-based no-code scene today. Notable concepts that were introduced or advanced in this decade include static web page with HTML, browsers that support CSS, Dreamweaver, and FrontPage, which were the first web page editors. And of course, we can't forget that Google was also introduced in the 90s. The web content in this age is mainly read and search only, And there is very little to no participation from the users to create and publish their own content. However, this era laid many foundations that made what we know as no-code today. 2000s, the birth of no-code software. The early 2000s, also known as the Web 2.0, is when the user-generated content surged on the internet, transitioning from solely enabling software usage to empowering users to create with computer without coding knowledge. Notable tools in these time periods are WordPress, Weebly, Shopify, and Wix. The no-code platforms in this era were web-only, and they were primarily introduced to set up websites, blogs, and e-commerce stores, as these were the most demanded medium to distribute content and services on the internet. Moving on to 2010s, the popularization of no-code. This is the web and mobile app era. Starting the 2010s, as the web technology and cloud computing continued to develop and thrive, web application became very in demand. And equally as much, mobile applications demand is soaring high as well. Hence, in the 2010s, we have seen the no-code space to expand from tools to create just websites, blogs, or stores to tools that can create complex web and mobile applications. Notable tools in these eras were Bubble, Zapier, Airtable, and many. Pretty much most of the popular tools these days that we all love and use were launched back in this decade. The term no-code started to gain popularity as a descriptor for all kinds of visual development tools. The 2020s, the AI and API era. Today, the landscape of no-code encompasses a diverse range of platforms and tools catering different use cases and user skill levels. With the surge of AI tools and APIs, it has never been so easy to build sophisticated applications without writing code. Although we're not even halfway into the decade yet, I believe the 2020s will be the year of AI-powered creation process and API integration, where we can create one complex product by utilizing services from many providers in the no-code space. There is no need to find a platform that can do it all. We can use the right services for the right jobs and make them work together as a whole ecosystem. And we do all that with the support of AI every step of the way. The history of no-code reflects its transformation from a tool focused on enabling computer usage without code to content consumption on the web and to powerful means to solve problems by building software without writing any code. The no-code movement continues to shape the software development landscape today, democratizing the creation of digital products and enabling a wider audience to participate in the development process. It has revolutionized how individuals and businesses approach software creation, emphasizing agility, accessibility, and creativity. In the next chapter, we'll discuss why you should be learning no-code now, regardless of your education background or your career stage. Until next time, ciao.